Hello and welcome to Women Thrive TV. I'm so excited to have you here for another episode about the 5 keys to thriving and all the things that you wish you knew sooner in business and life. Today's show is all about the 5 keys to selling the best-selling book. And this topic is really close to my heart. And I have an incredible guest who will be sharing her strategies from so many years of experience in publishing books and working with amazing people, who's Karen Strauss. Hi, how are you, Karen?
Hi, Raimonda. I'm great. Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
I love your topic. When I saw what you wanted to talk about your session, I was like, yes, that this is going to be a juicy session for our audience today.
Awesome. Well, books are close to my heart, that is for sure.
Yeah, amazing. Well, let me introduce Karen Strauss, who is a hybrid global publishing. She's a master book publisher and has various positions within, she's held various positions within the publishing industry for over 35 years, which is incredible. And she has worked with many celebrities, including President Jimmy Carter, Jimmy Stewart, Martha Stewart, George F. Will, OG Mandino. And since 2020, since 2010, Karen founded Hybrid Global Publishing, a firm that works with entrepreneurs, speakers, and coaches to help them write their books, publish them, distribute them, and promote them so they can reach more people, get more onto more stages, and become more well known for the things that they love doing. So, Karen has helped more than 700 business owners become more successful by becoming published authors. And this is such an incredible conversation to be had because I know our listeners will be definitely taking notes in this session and definitely getting a lot of value. So, Karen, love that topic. So many years in publishing industry. What inspired you to even get started in this industry?
I've kind of went into it by accident, actually. So I have always loved reading and publishing and all of that. But my first job was at Macy's, New York, doing special events. And I was 23 years old, and I walk in, it's my first job, and I walk in, and there's my desk, and it's piled high with books. And I said, oh my God, did I die and go to heaven? And so I said, well, what am I going to be doing? And they said, well, we just built a 4,000 square foot book department. So here are the books, call up the publishers, and just do events around surrounding books. And I was like, oh my God. So I wound up getting to know all the publishers and created really interesting events around books and doll shows and fashion shows and all sorts of women authors, all sorts of things that women in business, all surrounded by books. And then when it was time to kind of leave Macy's, I clearly knew all the publishing. I loved publishing. I loved the publishers. And so I started applying jobs at publishing houses in publicity, particularly. And that's how I got started.
Wow, that's just so interesting. Like you almost and you ended up by accident and then you found your path and now you've been doing this for so many years. I mean, why we're talking about becoming a best-selling book author, and I know you help write books for business owners and coaches. Why would one want to write a book?
I think that's a great question. Let me just say that writing a book is and publishing a book is not for the faint of heart, because the statistics show that when asked, 85% of people say they want to write a book. And guess how many actually do it? 2%,
I was going to say
right?
10, but two is even slimmer than that.
Two is crazy. Two is crazy. And there seems like there's so many books that are being published, and they are. However, in order to be successful, why you want to write a book is to get that authority, that credibility, that visibility that only books can really can really get you. The In all of my experience, creating creating visibility and authority. Nothing is better than having a book. It gets you on speaking stages. It gets you on radio shows and podcasts. People take you seriously. And for one thing is, if you are serious about having a business, that is the one thing that can help you level up your business, get your message out, and get more clients. And it is that's the model that we work with when you're writing books. There's nothing you don't want to be the best kept secret in your industry. And so writing a book will absolutely get you out there into the world and get people who are very much aligned with what you have to say and how you deliver that message if you have a book.
Yeah, I love that. And I see there's a time when people were used to using business cards, and now I think books is a new business card.
Right, right. No, it's true. And it's also part of your brand. It's who you are. And it's the best way that people can get to know you. You know, that by reading a book, they understand your philosophy, your worldview, what your messaging is. And if I resonate with a book that you've written, I'm going to want to know more. So I'm going to follow you on social media. I'm going to look at the videos you've done. I'm going to come to your summits. I'm going to basically stalk you. And then I'm going to approach you. I want to work with you and a book is kind of that starting place where I can figure out if you're my person.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's dive right into the 5 keys to become a best-selling published author.
So the first key is knowing your purpose to writing that book. Because as I mentioned before, writing a book is not for the faint of heart. So you really have to have that purpose. There's two purposes. Why are you writing this book? Who is it you want to serve? And the second thing is your overall purpose, right? So I write down my overall, why do I get out of bed every morning? For me, it's when all of this is over, what I really want to do is I love animals and I want to buy land so that I can have an animal rescue farm. That's why I want to make money. So that's my overall purpose. Now, why do I want to write a book? And that's your other key purpose. Do I want to help people? Do I have a legacy story I want to tell? Do I want to be known in my business? Do I want to start a mastermind or a course? Whatever that is. And so I would put that on Post-it notes and put it down on your computer so that you have that motivation every single day.
Love it. Yes. I'm in the process of writing a book, Karen. So this is exactly what I'm going to do is actually put in post-it notes, keep myself, because as I say, it's really not that easy. The commitment needs to be there and something needs to keep reminding you, like, why did you start? Because for me, I love starting projects, but sometimes it's hard to get to the finishing line. So this is really good tip. All right, let's dive into number 2.
Number two, and people don't think about this, but know how you want to publish. Do the research. So, do you want a traditional publisher? So, traditional publishing, you need an agent. And even if you got a publishing contract, it will take 18 months to 2 years before your book sees the light of day.
Wow.
Now, I don't know about you, but we entrepreneurs, I don't have that kind of time. In 2 years' time, I'll probably do a reiteration of my business 3 times, right? And so the book that will come out in 2 years may be different than who I am in 2 years. So they buy the rights to your intellectual property. Is that okay with you? So there are various things that you need to research. And they are one of my favorite lines is this big chain of bookstore chain that I was selling books to at some point looked at me one day and he said, "Hey, Karen, publishers are the marketing geniuses of the 18th century." It's like, Okay. And it's still true today. And so you need to kind of figure out if why you would want to publish with a traditional publisher. And if so, are you willing to go through all of these steps? The second way is self-publishing. I think we're all familiar with that, but you still have to hire a cover designer, a website designer, editors, production people, marketing people, book coaches, whatever it is, you still need to hire that support team and that support system. And then the third is hybrid publishing, which obviously I'm biased because I started a hybrid publishing company, but I believe that is the best way to go for entrepreneurs and coaches and speakers. Because you want to get that book out as fast as possible, but you also want to rely on the help of people who are doing that. And
Mm.
so my advice to you is explore all your options and see what lands best for you and talk
Yeah.
to a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, I think doing your research is crucial. I think I see a lot of people not realizing the costs that involved and the help that's needed, even in self-publishing. So that's just a really good tip. And hybrid publishing is basically having access to all of that support under one roof, but still being able to do self-publishing whilst you have all the resources at hand without having to interview multiple people for multiple jobs
That's
and do
right.
all of
All the
that.
people have been vetted. Right. And then you've got guided publishing. So if you need help writing a book, you need help marketing a book, distributing it, all of that, that's all under one roof.
Yeah, amazing. What's the next key? I'm getting more excited about becoming a published author for us, for our audience today.
The next key is you need to have an outline. Create an outline. That's your GPS system for the book. So you're not really flailing around trying to figure out what am I going to write about? How am I going to put this together? So when you do an outline, let's say it's 10 chapters and write the overall concepts. Essentially, that becomes your table of contents. And then you put under those chapters your talking points. And then where are you going to add stories? And this is a very low tech thing. Again, I love my post-it notes. So I put post-it notes on a wall. I put my chapters on the wall and then my talking points. I don't need to know which stories, but you are going to need to know eventually. You're going to put stories in there if you're writing nonfiction that are relevant to the points that you're making. And so the beautiful thing about the post-it notes is, oh, in chapter 7, I introduced this concept, but I really need to introduce this concept in chapter 2. So I pick up my post-it note and I move it to chapter 2. Voila. And so that's the beautiful thing. You just can keep moving around like a board, a whiteboard, and then just figure it out. But it is your GPS system and will keep you on track and be accountable for getting that
Yeah,
book done. And the
yeah,
beautiful thing about having this is you don't have to write the book in linear order, in linear fashion. You can just decide to pick a point, a talking point within a chapter. If you feel like doing research that day, then do that. So you don't have to do it in a particular order.
yeah. It's really powerful. I think just having the outline is going to give you so much clarity and it makes it easier to go back and pick up the book and continue to write it when you already have an outline. Otherwise, it's a big project. And how do you handle a big project is by having a project plan that will just continue to keep you on track, which is the best advice that anyone could have when they want to publish a book. Amazing. So we got three keys already. What's the fourth one, Karen?
The fourth one, if I can read, oh, create that marketing plan. So a lot of people think one of the biggest rookie mistakes is I'm just going to focus on my writing of the book and then I'll worry about how I'm going to market it once I finish it. But that's too late. So you really need to be working on that marketing plan at least 6 months in advance. And that means developing a social media platform, at least one or two platforms. So absolutely join Goodreads. Goodreads.com is the largest social media platform for books. So you want to be there. You want to be joining groups that are in your genre, get to know the people that are aligned with your topics, start helping and servicing those people. So by the time that your book comes out, they're going to want to support you by buying your book, by reviewing your book, and so on and so forth. And that's what you want to do with other social media platforms, TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever your platform is. Don't try and do too much, but actually pick one or two things that you can become proficient at and start developing your audience. The key thing that we teach is a launch team, and develop those 20 or 25 people. Make a list of the 20, 25 people that you can count on. So they can be family as long as they don't have the same last name as you. They can be colleagues, they can be friends. And what you want to do is you want to have them commit to when your launch happens, to when your book comes out, that they're going to be helping you promote it in social media, sending out emails. If you're doing a bestseller campaign, they're going to help you do that. They're going to review the book. In other words, you develop the program and develop the criteria of what you want them to do. Now, you can also incentivize them, give them free copies of your book, a $25 gift card to Starbucks. I saw somebody did that in our WhatsApp group today. And so there are lots of ways, but developing that launch team early on and getting that buy-in is so important. Because when let's say you've got 20 people and they only have 1,000 followers. So you have an automatic 20,000 people who are going to be introduced to your book by the time the book comes out of people you don't know. That's extraordinary. And so that's the kind of thinking that you need to be doing now and plan ahead. So definitely create that marketing plan. It does just figure out what you're going to be doing and develop that launch team. Very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. It's powerful. The power is really in the numbers, and especially when it comes to book launches. Truth, it doesn't, if you pick the right categories, it doesn't require you to sell thousands upon thousands books to become a bestseller. But you do require to have a good reach on the first few days. And I think having a great launch team is a massive support. And you don't want to feel alone in something like this because it can feel like I've just put a post out and it feels like it's just gone into the ether. What's happening? The book sales coming in.
Anybody listening? Anybody there?
Like I wrote my book, but there's no one talking about it. So the launch team can definitely help you build that momentum and also feel like you've got that support right off the get-go. Love these topics
So important.
and these
Exactly.
keys. Yeah. Amazing. What's the last thing on our list today to cover?
And the last thing, a topic near and dear to our heart, is speaking.
Yeah.
As one of my business coaches said, speaking is the fastest path to cash. So she says you're only 47 speaking engagements away from $1 million. And then she goes through speaker math, which I love. I love speaker math. I don't like any other kind of math, but I love speaker math. So, which we don't have time to go into, but it works. And speaking is the best way to get visibility. Speaking at a summit like yours, Women Thrive Summit gives you so much exposure, so much visibility. People want to join you, make collaborative partnerships with you. And that's the beauty of that. Sponsoring stages, right? People offer you this opportunity to speak. And if you feel that they have an audience that it's in alignment with what you do, you should spend the money, invest in yourself, because you're going to get a lot of clients. Speaking really helps you get, obviously, the visibility, the credibility, the authority, but it's also going to help you increase your revenue. So just a small piece of what we teach is you buy this sponsorship. People usually ask you to give a free gift. And when you have a book, you can say, okay, download the free chapter of my book. And then obviously they're interested in the topic or they wouldn't download a chapter of your book. You collect their email and their phone, and then you invite them to a call with you. Now they're already interested in what you had to say and the topic, so they're more likely to want to work with you. And so what is that worth? How much do you charge a client to consult with? $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, whatever it is, it's going to, how many clients do you need to pay back the money that you've spent producing this book? Probably two. On average, two new clients is what you need to make back the money that you've put into making this book. So speak, get your message out, develop clarity of your messaging, and find your people. Find people that are aligned with you. As a friend of mine calls it, your purple fish. Find your purple fish and attract the right clients for you. And you can do that with a book and getting out and speak.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. They say that when you publish a book, that's when the work starts, really, which a lot of people
Yeah.
don't realize. The book on its own don't have legs, so you're gonna have to help it walk.
That is so true. People think they write the book, they put it on Amazon. It's like, okay, I'm done. But you're far from done. Exactly. You really be willing to put in all that time to push your baby out there into the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love books personally, and I have books. When I look at my bookshelf, I was like, all these books are written by people I know and my friends, and it's honestly it's an amazing tool, especially for business owners and entrepreneurs.
Agreed. And coaches need books, and you can develop your 6 month program, your mastermind, your course. You can develop so much more product from books. You can take a book, do a course, do a workbook, add in two extra bonus calls with you. And now instead of a $20 product, you have a $3,000 product because you've put all that together, but from the basis of the content that you've already written in your book.
Last question for me, but what's the tip you would give to an aspiring author to not miss a trick?
Oh, great question. I would say do your research, go to various conferences. There's a great organization called Women in Publishing. And so they do lots of 2-day conferences. They have a summit as well. The Independent Book Publishers Association has a criteria that they have a lot of resources. Join what's called the JV network, like network with people. And so, and I would say maybe you want to hire a book coach. Maybe you want to work with someone to help you develop that book, go to retreats and workshops. People are offering writing retreats. There's a lot of resources, but I would say don't attempt this alone. Work with someone who does this all day long and is going to help you avoid those mistakes.
Yeah, I love that, Karen. Well, I know that this is what you also do in supporting others with writing their books. So, how do people get in touch with you?
So you can go to my website, hybridglobalpublishing.com, and there's a way to contact me from the website. Check out what we do, and then contact me. I will get back to you, and then perhaps we can get on a Zoom and have a chat.
Amazing. And if people want to come and stalk you on any of the social media platforms, which one is your favorite?
LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. And I have Facebook. I have a significant Facebook, but if you're in business, definitely connect with me either LinkedIn or Facebook. You can direct message me from those. Yeah.
Amazing. Karen, this has been such a pleasure. I hope that more people will get to learn from you. You share so much amazing wisdom. And I asked this question about not to miss a trick because doing it alone, you do it the first time to learn how to do it. The second time, now you can actually get the ball rolling. But you've only got one shot when it comes to writing your book, and you only got one shot with launching it. So there are so many things that you don't know when you don't know. And that it really applies to first time authors who just don't know what they don't know. And that's the benefit, really, and the beauty of hiring someone who has a lot of experience in publishing to guide you through that process. And it's really well worth the investment because it's shortened path to success and a sure path to success because they already have the blueprint that you're looking for. So highly recommend just reach out to Karen or do your research beforehand and it's going to support you along the way.
Love that. I love that. That is so true. Work with people who do this all day long so that you can avoid those mistakes.
Yeah, that's the value of mentorship.
Absolutely. And I know you do that so well. So yeah, I know you get that.
Yeah, it's always a I wish somebody told me this sooner.
Yes, I get it. I was a lone wolf myself for a long time.
Yeah, this is why we do this show on Women Thrive. Just the things that you wish you knew sooner to help you get to that level of success that you're desiring. And I'm really passionate about just supporting women and finding the shortcut, finding the ways, finding the resources that's going to help you leap to that success as opposed to trying to figure out the long way. So, Karen, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for dedicating your time to be here today. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you, Raimonda.
Thank you. To all of our listeners, thank you for tuning in. If you felt that this resonated with you, do make sure you connect with our guest, Karen Strauss, today. You can do that via the links below, as well as on Facebook and LinkedIn or her website. Now, if you have enjoyed it, make sure you also share it with your audience. Maybe somebody else is looking for this guidance and support to help them become a best-selling published author. From me, Raimonda Jan, your host, thank you all so much, and we look forward to seeing you again on another show.